Hi everyone. Welcome to the Integrating Conga Composer with eSignature Solutions webinar. In this session, we'll be discussing the integration with EchoSign. This webinar is part of our ongoing webinar series and is intended to introduce you to the capabilities of the Conga Composer EchoSign integration. My name is Ashley Green, and I'm the Director of Education and Communities here at Conga. I'll be your moderator for this session. Before we get started, let's do a little housekeeping. The entire webinar is slated to last about 30 minutes, including about 5 minutes for Q&A at the end. We have a lot of registrants, so everyone's phones will be on mute. If you have questions, please submit them online. Obviously, we won't get to all of your questions, but we'll answer as many as we can during the session. Any that we don't get to will be answered in an FAQ that we'll post to our knowledge base. The webinar is being recorded, and we will make that recording available in a few days on our YouTube channel and in our knowledge base as well. So let's get started. I'm pleased to introduce Peter Terhune, who will be taking you through this session. Peter's our Director of Strategic Solutions here at Conga, and he's looking forward to exposing you to this integration. Peter, it's all yours.
Thanks, Ashley. Good afternoon, everyone. As Ashley said, my name is Peter Terhune. I am the Director of Strategic Solutions with Conga. I've been with the company now for 4 years and have worked very closely with Adobe's EchoSign team on our integration with one another's applications. As many of folks are familiar, Adobe's EchoSign allows for electronic signature of documents in the cloud. And Conga does a great job of creating documents. So there's a very natural evolution between our two applications where Conga Composer is going to generate the document, or documents plural, from Salesforce and then hand those files off to Adobe EchoSign, which will deliver those documents for signature. So today's focus, how to deploy that automation. So how to automate your Conga solutions in tandem with EchoSign, and the common parameters that are utilized to accommodate that. Then finally, we're going to just jump into the ability to do even a one-click approach using Conga Composer's ever-popular background mode. Quickly, I'm going to highlight some of the parameters that I'm going to apply and utilize today. We'll be doing a live demo in just a moment, but the most important parameter is right there at the top, ES_visible equals 1. This is a parameter inside the Conga Composer button that will enable and expose the EchoSign button on the Conga window. Secondly, we have signature type, which allows you to select eSignature, fax signature. The recipients, who are the people that need to sign and receive this document for signature. The ability to the next parameter there, ES opportunity ID, how to relate the agreement record back to the appropriate source. Recipients and reminder settings for those recipients so that they receive ticklers from time to time that they need to sign a document. And then finally at the very bottom there, the background mode. So we're going to go ahead and proceed into a demo. And I'm going to return to this list of parameters just a little bit throughout our call today. But we'll see how these work in tandem. So I'm quite literally going to copy this text right out of my presentation and go into Salesforce.com. Over here in Salesforce, I've created a button using Conga Composer on our opportunity. So this button is called Conga to EchoSign for Spring 13. Inside Salesforce Setup, we'll go open a new tab here. So we're in Setup, Customize, Opportunities, Buttons and Links. And here's our button right here, Conga to EchoSign for Spring 13. If I were to edit this link and add in this parameter, ES_visible equals 1. This again is the parameter that is going to expose the EchoSign button on the Conga window. So we'll do a quick save, go back over to our opportunity, refresh this page, to apply our updates and launch Conga Composer. From here, this is the standard Conga Composer user interface. And by default, we provide you with these buttons for merge, email, log activities, and close. Now by adding that ES visible, we now have this other option here for EchoSign. Clicking that button is going to perform the merge operation. So we're retrieving a template that we've defined, generating that document, turning it into a PDF file, and delivering this file to the EchoSign agreement object. So all of that happened with one click. A couple of things have taken place. We've defaulted the agreement name. We've set the opportunity as our source. But what we haven't done is defined exactly all of the recipients that we might have in this signature environment. So Paul might be our first signer, but we could also have other signers that might need to be defined. We might also want to flag our reminders, set other security options if need be, or attach other files. But Conga Composer has created this file for us right here, and we can see that very quickly. So this is the Conga generated document from that record. So not quite ready for prime time. Let's go back to our opportunity, and we're going to go apply a couple of additional parameters. The first one, if you noticed earlier, the signature type that was pre-selected was fax signature, and that's the default setting for an EchoSign agreement record. So now I'm going to override that and say ES signature type equals 2, which will pre-select the eSignature signature type. Additionally, I have a really specific signature order that I would like applied. So we're going to use ES recipient 1 as well as ES recipient 2 because I'm going to have a countersigner in this solution. Returning to our button, go ahead and paste in our signature type equals 2, which is going to pre-select an electronic signature. And we'll just type in ES recipient 1 equals, as well as ES recipient 2. So these are the individuals or the intended recipients of this file. The first person that I would like to have sign is myself. I'm actually going to have the opportunity owner sign this document. So in order to define that, in my merge field menu here for insert field from Salesforce, I can simply select owner ID, and it will automatically populate that value for us for recipient 1. Recipient 2, I would like to go ahead and have the primary contact from my opportunity contact roles. And in order to get that value, I can go to my contact field types and pass in the contact ID. We'll save those changes. Refresh our page so that our button reflects these new updates. Run our Conga button, and again click EchoSign as the destination for our merge. This time around we should see that we now have 2 recipients defined. The first recipient would be myself, Peter, as the opportunity owner, and secondly, Paul Gibbons, our primary contact. So we've captured that Peter is the first signer, Paul is the second, and down here in the signature type, we have predefined that eSignature is our desired method. The fax signature is quickly losing popularity these days. All right, looks pretty good, but I just realized that I want to remind those recipients. So if I send this document off to Paul for signature and he hasn't signed it after a day, within 24 hours, I'd like him to get a reminder. So that parameter right here, ES remind recipient. We'll go back to our button. Now, ES remind recipient equals 1, I believe is a daily reminder. Oh, let's just double check that really quick from the Salesforce, or I'm sorry, the Conga knowledge base. From congamerge.com, I can go out to my support tab. And there we are, ES remind recipient. I'm just going to type in that parameter name and look at the article for this particular parameter. And here are my options. So if I set this to ES remind recipient equals 0, then that's kind of the default setting, so it's never set. 1 is never send a reminder. Well, that's not quite what I want. I want this to set daily. So I'm going to say ES remind recipient equals 2. And this gives me a daily reminder, and 3 would be weekly if need be. So ES remind recipient equals 2. Going back to my opportunity, we'll go ahead and click our Conga Composer button, send this document to EchoSign, and we'll now have our recipients defined, the signature type, as well as the reminder flags. So our recipients, the signature type, it's related back to our opportunity, and we flagged a reminder to send a reminder every day until this document is signed. Looks good. Now we send for signature. So myself as the sender, I'm now prompted to sign this document. So this is the EchoSign signing environment. At this point, Conga Composer has completed all of its tasks and its processing, and this is where EchoSign has taken over. So as the sender, I'm presented a copy of the document. Everything inside my quote or my proposal here looks good, and I'm being prompted to sign this document here on this line. So if I click that, we can change it real quick. I'll say, wow, helps to spell your own name. Okay. We'll apply that signature, and we can change the title if need be, and sign it. So now I've got a confirmation from EchoSign that I've successfully signed the agreement and it's been forwarded on to the next party for signature. I happen to have Mr. Gibbons' email open right here in this tab, so we can see that Peter Terhune, myself, being the sender, has sent a document to Mr. Gibbons for signature, and this is what Mr. Gibbons receives. He sees this can all be branded via EchoSign, but they're going to have a link right here to review and e-sign this document. Once they click that, the next signer is prompted to sign the document at the same spots, but in this signature block, these are for signer 2. So we can apply a signature, the title, and sign that document. So now this document has been successfully signed, and copies will be emailed to all parties. Returning back into Salesforce, if I click Update Status, this is going to refresh our EchoSign agreement record, and we'll see now that that document is reflecting that it's been signed. Here are the individuals that it was delivered to, You can download a copy of that PDF right from this record. So if I was to click that link, it would pull down a PDF that I could save locally and store elsewhere. We have a copy of the agreement events. We see that the document was created and sent for signature and signed and so forth. So we can track that information with time and date stamps directly on the agreement record. And we have images and thumbnails of that signed document stored directly in Salesforce on this record. So you see the document as well as those signatures as they're applied. So now when I return to my opportunity, we'll see right here as well, down in the related lists, I have this agreement that's been signed. Pretty straightforward. The customizations and methods to achieve this integration are simply a couple of very simple parameters applied into your Conga Composer URL. There's some additional parameters that are available for our EchoSign integration. Those additional parameters can be found on our website. If you go to congamerge.com, click on the tab for support, and you'll see here there's a link for our index of Conga Composer parameters. I can filter this index to simply display my EchoSign related items, and you'll see there's a whole variety of additional parameters that can be utilized in conjunction with this integration. Items like additional to, if we wanted to define the agreement name, if we would like to copy some additional recipients, so if you needed to CC your accounting department, that could be controlled and defined right here. Set expirations. So a variety of different items and parameters allow you to define the behavior of your EchoSign agreements. The final step that we mentioned in our slide deck was that we wanted to run this in background mode using DS7. So DS7 is Conga Composer's background mode parameter. DS7 can have one of many different settings, but EchoSign related settings are DS7 equals 4, 14, and 24. For our purposes today, I'll go ahead and use DS7 equals 4. With that setting in place, we will bypass the Conga Composer user interface, merge the document that is being defined in our template ID, and automatically pass that document to EchoSign with no user interaction. With DS7 in place, the user is presented with nothing more than this status bar right here. The merge is just about complete, all done. Delivers us directly to the EchoSign agreement. We see that all of those same settings have been defined, and away it goes for signature. And for our demonstration purposes, we could even go one step further. I could actually set this document to automatically deliver. DS7 equals 24 is going to send the document and just present us with a confirmation. So Conga Composer will create our document, create the EchoSign agreement, and automatically deliver that document for signature, all with one click. Actually, I apologize. I just remembered there's an integration issue with 24. I need to utilize 14. My apologies. So back on 14, Conga to EchoSign, in this situation, this will automatically deliver that document for signature without the user ever interacting with either the Conga UI or the EchoSign user interface. And that's it. That document's been sent. So again, just a handful of building blocks, all these little Legos that you can do to do different things to affect your Conga Composer behavior. And our team is always here to assist you. So never hesitate to reach out, contact us, support@congamerge.com. You can give us a call or find all kinds of useful resources on our knowledge base. And that about brings me to the end of my presentation. I think the next point, any questions, any Q&A out there from the audience?
Yes, and we do have some questions, Peter, and I'll just go ahead and dive right in. The first question is there a limit to the number of signatories that you can have for a document?
No, there is not. Conga Composer does allow you to define up to 6 signers in a button URL. Back in here, we could have ES recipient 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 6 signers. At that point, if you have more than that, you would need to define those on the EchoSign agreement record. Not something that I have encountered with any regularity. Generally, 2 is pretty standard, 4 is pushing the edges of the envelope, and 6 is nearly onerous, but it's not to say it wouldn't be possible, but it can be done.
Okay. Another question is, if my organization generates quotes using a spreadsheet, is that something that would work with this integration?
Absolutely. Conga Composer allows you to generate documents using Microsoft Excel. So we will merge our document. The template would be a Microsoft Excel file. Conga Composer can perform the merge to Excel and deliver that Excel file to the EchoSign agreement record. So Excel is absolutely supported in this environment.
Okay. The next question is, how is this integration priced?
The pricing is, both solutions are separate applications with separate vendors. Conga Composer is priced at $12 per user per month. EchoSign is provided by Adobe's EchoSign team, and you would have to contact them directly for pricing.
And let's see, there was, I thought, one final question, and that was simply, once you set up the order with the recipient field, can the document be signed out of order, or is it a serial process?
Sure. The EchoSign signature order, as defined by that ES recipient value, where we defined myself as signer 1 and signer 2, by default, that is a serial order of signature. So the first signer is always going to be the first signer. Once that first signer is completed, then it will be passed on to the second signer, third signer, and so on. There is an option inside your EchoSign configuration that would allow for parallel signing so that all recipients receive a copy of the document simultaneously, and those recipients could sign at their leisure. However, that is something that is configured on the EchoSign settings and not necessarily Conga related.
All right. And I believe that is our last question, so I think we can move on, Peter.
Right.
All right. So first, I wanted to thank everyone for attending. As I mentioned in the beginning, you'll be receiving a follow-up email, and it will include links to the agenda, a copy of the recording, as well as the questions that were asked in this and in the previous session. You can also go to our knowledge base and just search for the term archive, and you can find our webinar archive there, where you can get access to that information about this and any of the other webinars that we've presented. I also wanted to point out some resources that are available to help you expand your Conga expertise. The first is our knowledge base, which Peter has already referred to, and you can access that from our support page or go directly to the URL knowledge.appextremes.com. And we have well over 600 articles on a variety of topics that we think you might find helpful. Next is the webinar archive, which I just mentioned. In addition to that, we also have tutorials that we call quick starts. And quick starts are intended to get you started with different Conga tools. And so if you go to the knowledge base and search for the term quick starts, you'll see that we have a number of quick starts, and we're consistently adding to that. And those can help you get started if you're unfamiliar with tools in the Conga suite. We also provide sample templates, which you can use as a basis for your own documents. If you search for the term template library in the knowledge base, it'll take you to that template library, and there you'll see templates for different types of documents and for different objects as well. Conga also has a YouTube channel, so if you go to youtube.com/congamerge, you'll be taken to our channel, and we have a variety of useful videos that you can watch there. Our documentation is available from the support site. If you go to the documentation tab, there are full PDF copies of all of our documentation that are available. And then finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our support team, which is truly world-class. If you have questions that you just can't get answered, rest assured there are people that we have that can help you. And the final thing that I wanted to mention is that this webinar is part of the series of webinars that we offer here at Conga. We have a couple of introductory webinars getting started with Conga Composer and useful Conga Composer parameters that'll help you get started with our main tool. We also have a webinar on creating Word templates, which introduces you to some of the complexities of creating your own templates. And we will be presenting one on PowerPoint templates as well. We're currently in one of the eSignature solution webinars, and we have some others coming. And then finally, we've also done a session that's specific to Conga Composer for nonprofits. As always, be sure and let us know what you think. We really appreciate the time that you take to spend on this webinar, and we hope that it's been helpful. We have a feedback page on our main support site, so if you have any comments that you'd like to give us, please go there, click on the feedback button, and let us know what you think. Everyone have a great day, and thanks for coming.